Chapter 3, Queen against Pawn. Of course, usually a queen easily wins against a single pawn. But if the pawn has reached its 7th rank so that it can promote or threatens to promote, then it makes sense to know the following guidelines and zones, I think. If it is a rook's or a bishop's pawn, then there are winning and drawing zones for the attacking king, we will see soon. And in other cases, the queen wins as a rule. So if it's a knight or a central pawn, the queen wins, and this is a case in point. And there's one maneuver you should know. Okay, if the queen comes to e1 here, to the promotion square, then the queen always wins easily. And in other cases, the queen forces the defending king in front of the pawn, then the king comes closer, and it could be as far away as you want it. It comes closer, and yeah, then comes the maneuver, then it comes closer, and so on, and so on, and so on, and you guessed it, and here, yeah, it comes closer, and finally it is close enough, moving in for the win. Okay, so, yeah. Anyway, this is a trivial case, you just need to know the winning maneuver. Yeah, in case of a rook's or a bishop's pawn, it is more complicated. I start with the rook's pawn. This is the winning zone for the attacking king. Of course, with a queen on b8 and king on b6, the king could move into this king c5 check on things like that, so this is just the rule again. If the king is inside the zone, then the attack wins. a5, d5, d4, e4, e1, check. And now, the king is close enough to help a mating attack. Yeah, the usual maneuver is good, but now the king can't come closer due to stalemate. And this the same would be with the c2 pawn. The king couldn't come closer, and the pawn couldn't be taken due to stalemate. So this is the reason why the position is a general draw, and there are the 3 winning zones. This was the first. Yeah, now, okay, more natural is probably like this. The king comes closer, and finally, mate cannot really be stopped. Yeah, this is the reason why these squares are in the winning zone. The king is close enough there, and the other squares are in the winning zone. Then now it would be the king would be on d2 and d3, and queen c2 mate would be the case. Yeah, maybe you can work out your details if it was too quick. Yeah. So this is the winning zone for a rook's pawn on its 7th rank before promotion. If the attacking king, here white's king is inside, then white always wins. And otherwise, it's as a draw, it's a as a rule, it's a draw. Okay, yeah, with the and the zone is relatively large, as the queen on a1 is very badly placed, of course. With a bishop's pawn, the queen on c1 is much better and more influential placed, and so the winning zone is much smaller, like this. The king has to be directly near to start a direct mating attack, or to be able to move to d2 to stop the pawn with its own hand. So these are draw. But one thing you must know, okay, stalemate defense, the reasoning why this can be a draw. And now you must know that in this position there's only one move to draw. And it's often that additional to these guidelines you need to know a few concrete positions or lines to support the guideline of the drawing zone, so that you can really be sure to apply it 100% correct over the board. The only move to draw is king a1, as the queen needs the b1 square for its counterplay, and then the position remains a draw. Well, king b1 would be losing. So as is often the case, it is not sufficient to only learn the drawing zone by heart and then move on to the next. One thing you must at least know as well. Here, this is the only move. This is the reason why b5 is outside the winning zone. Yeah, if the king is on the insecure side of the pawn and in the center, then the winning zone, of course, gets much larger, because the king needs time to cross over via c1 to the safe side of the pawn, and the queen may even, of course, try to stop that. And there are mating motifs if the king is on the long side. For example, if the king is on g4, then with the king on f3, and there might be queen e2 mate after queen. This is the reason why the zone is so large. Okay, with the king on b5, yeah, first the maneuver as usual, and then the king can advance into the small winning zone. And now it is inside. Nothing can be done, and white wins. Yeah, so really, maybe try yourself with a king on g4, win yourself against Fritz or a friend. And I think it makes sense to know all this, and also to know the winning zones.